Well, USDA is finally going to give us our first crop production and supply and demand updates since September 12th this morning. It's been a long time coming while we're waiting for these reports. And you know, bullish or bearish, Brian, these are just numbers that we got to get in the market.
Exactly. The huge wait. For the market to wait 2 months for these numbers, it's unbelievable, actually, and unprecedented. And, as a result, there's a lot of uncertainty going into the reports. But we've used numbers that have been coming from the field through the last 2 months, so now we need to see if USDA confirms it.
Since we got that report, we've harvested about 85% of the bean crop. We've harvested nearly 3/4 of the corn crop, and we continue to get these better than expected yield reports coming from the field. Therefore, the trade expectations are for a big increase in the crop estimates for both corn and soybeans.
Right, and I think it's fully baked into the market now that we're going to get those bigger crop estimates. So the question then becomes, if we do get them from USDA, then what happens? Is there still a bearish reaction even though the numbers may be technically bearish?
Yeah, we only have to go back a week to the export sales report that was for the 3 weeks of the government shutdown. There was all the talk about the big export sales. Well, we got the big export sales and it failed to support corn and soybeans. So if we get these big crop estimates on corn and soybeans, it could be a case of, they've sold the rumor. Now it's time to buy the fact.
Right, and I think that not necessarily actively buy, but it may help us put in a seasonal low in here. So I'm not looking for a big rally in corn futures per se, but if it does help us put in a low and stops the price slide that we've had now for multiple months.
And of course, we're going to get the supply and demand report out there as well, which means we've got to look straight at the bottom line, which is carryover, expecting some increases there.
Right, and the bigger thing is probably on the corn side of things, just a really big increase in carryover. No matter what the number is, we know it's going to be big, and that's price negative. That's going to be a wet blanket over the marketplace. On the soybean side of things, not nearly as much of an increase in carryover, but expected to be up month over month, or compared to September anyway.
Exactly, and don't forget, we're also going to get an update in harvested acres. This will be the first update of any kind since the September data dump from FSA on certified acres. So even if we do get a big increase in yield, it could be held, the crop size could be held down by a decrease in harvested acres.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the potential bullish factor in these reports as we move forward. Bigger crop size factored in, increase in carryover factored in, what happens with the harvested acres.
All right, very good. Thanks, Brian. For Brian Grete and all the editors at Pro Farmer in Cedar Falls, Iowa, I'm Chip Flory.